We had a couple of weekdays on the JSE this week, but it appears that we are ending the week on a high note and back above that key 25,000 level at this stage.
Yes, absolutely. Following what happened in the United States yesterday, we saw it just also up quite a bit near the 1% levels. And we're just seeing that filtering through into markets, as Alicia mentioned earlier, resources leading the way, and things are looking good, looking up today.
Of course, we have had some positive economic news out of the US this week. We had durable goods numbers, we've had consumer confidence numbers, and they really seem to be showing that there is some traction coming into the world's biggest economy. But is it sustainable? Is the market still skeptical about whether this economic recovery can be sustained?
Sustainability is a very interesting question, but I think what we're seeing at the moment is just traders reacting to any good news that comes out. I mean, as you know, today the University of Michigan's consumer confidence numbers are going to come out later on today, and that is really what's going to drive us towards the end of the session to see where we're going to close. And you know, also other data coming out of the United Kingdom, you know, GDP data coming out today that was actually better than expected. So we saw the FTSE come up quite a bit, about 25 points in 5 minutes, you know, in reaction to that information. So whether there will be sustainability or not, I'm not sure, but I think, you know, the traders are responding positively to that and buoying the market.
And of course, we did have positive growth figures out of Japan, Germany and France over the past couple of weeks. So it really does look like the world's biggest economies, at least, are starting to turn the corner, doesn't it?
Yes, it absolutely does look that way, and you know, it's far more important for us in South Africa because those are Europe is our main trading partner, and you know, and so is the United Kingdom. So when things change there, sentiment change there, when the positive GDP numbers come out there, you know, it buoys our market, and it is good for our market because we react positively to that. Obviously, there is a lag that will happen, you know, when we'll see it coming into the South African market. But yeah, all those very good news, and it just shows that maybe the market is, the world economy is starting to turn.
And of course, we know that the US consumer is all important to a global economic recovery. We previously had some consumer confidence numbers out of the US which were positive. So do you think that if we get decent figures out of the University of Michigan survey today, that'll really just reinforce all this and let this rally continue?
Absolutely. I think the last time the numbers from the University of Michigan came out was 63.2. This time we're expecting about 64. And, you know, just on the back of a lot of things that have happened, a lot of data that has come out, including the US's GDP that came out yesterday, we're expecting that the market would perhaps overreact to that information and really rally things up, and then we'll see that also going in the Dow, perhaps reaching you know, beyond 9,500 where it is right now, and the S&P also reacting quite a bit, getting closer to 1,100.
Of course, we've had a very busy week on the results front here in South Africa, and also economic-wise with consumer and producer inflation figures. Very little coming out into the market today, so are we really just going to take direction from how Wall Street opens?
Yes, absolutely. We'll just have to wait until about 3:30 to see what's happened. But as I mentioned earlier, the GDP data coming out of the United Kingdom has helped us quite a lot and has also given an upward direction into our market.
And of course, you said the FTSE was also trading quite nicely to that. Just looking at one set of results that came out yesterday, and that's the results from MTN, and sort of a mixed reaction to those results, although the share price did end higher yesterday. Anything in there that you can read into how that's going to affect the Bharti-MTN deal?
I think, you know, shareholders are becoming a little bit impatient, as well as, you know, speculators in the market are becoming a little bit impatient with what's going on with that deal. It's taken quite a long time. Second round of talk started in around about May, you know, and I think what's happening, or what we're seeing now in the share, is that, you know, a lot of expectations in there. There's a sweetener that may come in. I read a little bit earlier that there's a suspicion that Bharti will pay in an extra $10 million as a sweetener. So whether that will be good enough for shareholders or not, we'll see later. MTN still has got a lot of regulatory hurdles to overcome. They've still got to speak to their shareholders about the deal, and, you know, 30th of September is still pretty far, and anything can happen by that time. But good results coming out of MTN nonetheless. Headline earnings up 22.5%, somewhere near there, and you know, very well received by the market. And MTN is one of the gems of the JSE, so you know, I think they'll be looking for a much bigger sweetener than what Bharti has offered.
Well, we just saw on the screen a moment ago, we have MTN share price trading at 132.50 Rand. How much higher than that do you think a deal could come through at?
Well, that 100, when initially things started, that 130 rands price was very key. Now that we've gone beyond that and is sitting at about 132, I think the market is looking for another level where they would actually expect Bharti to offer MTN. So I think there is still a lot of upside on the share price, perhaps 145, 150. But you know, I think we're waiting for the 30th of September to know what, if anything, will happen.
Of course, well, we know what we're looking forward to in the markets today. What's your expectation for next week? We still have more results coming out in South Africa, and we're more than halfway through the reporting season at this stage. Do you think those results are going to drive the markets, or do you think it's really just going to be global factors that are going to take us forward?
I still believe global factors are going to be what is paramount and will give us direction next week. You know, as we saw, there were some very mixed results this week. The platinum producers not doing so well, and however, you know, Shoprite, MTN, and Mr. Price also doing very well. You know, so I think it's also going to be a mixed bag next week. However, for direction and for momentum, we'll look to especially the United States to see what is going to happen.